Today marks the start of open enrollment for plans under the Affordable Care Act, and customers are bracing for some big changes. All right, in some parts of the country, huge rate hikes, like in Arizona, 110% increase on Obamacare exchanges, while in others there may only be one insurer to choose from because a lot of insurance companies are just bailing. Open enrollment continues until January 31st, 2017. All right, we assume that everyone knows what we're talking about when we talk about open enrollment. Joining me now from the San Diego Association of Health Underwriters is Craig Gussin. You're the expert in this.
Thanks.
What does open enrollment mean?
Open enrollment means that the only time you can apply for health insurance in the country for an individual is November 1st through January 31st of 2017. That's the only time that you can apply for insurance unless it's what we call a qualifying event, which is that somehow you lost coverage, or in other situations, such as you have a baby, the baby can automatically get a plan then. If you got divorced and you lost coverage from your spouse, that's a qualifying event. But calling me up in May and saying, hey, I want to buy health insurance and I haven't had it in a couple of years, you can't buy it except for November 1st through January 31st with a November 1 effective date or February 1 effective date, depending when you signed up.
All right, so what's so confusing about this open enrollment is that you have so many choices. When you log into the Covered California website, you look at all the different choices. How do you know which one's right for you?
That's not easy. For the last 3-4 months, every health insurance agent I know across the country has been looking at the plans, what has changed, what's going on. You really need professional help, which is what our association and our members do. Sit down with you, go through all the different plans, find out what you need. You know, what are your concerns? Do you go to the doctor a lot? Are you having a procedure done? Are you going to have a baby? Look at those things and help you figure out, A, what plan you want, and B, do you have a doctor you want to use? Maybe the doctor's in a Scripps network or in a Sharp network, or you like Kaiser. And we put all that together and find a plan that works for you. The nice part for the consumer is we get paid by the insurance companies just like the doctors and the hospitals, so it costs you nothing to use us, but we can help you figure out a plan that works best for you. But it's really important, if you're going through Covered California and getting a subsidy, that you know what your income is this year and next year. Because the income is what determines everything if you're going to get what we call a subsidy, which means the government helps pay for your health insurance.
They say here that subsidies, that there are 800,000 households getting some kind of subsidy in California.
Yeah.
That's an average of $5,200 a year.
75% of everybody in Covered California gets a subsidy. It helps pay the premiums. But if you put your income wrong, what's going to end up happening is when you do your tax return in 2017 for 2016, you're going to get this nice letter from the IRS about how you made a mistake and you actually owe the government back money because your subsidy shouldn't have been that high. So it's really important that you look at your W-2 for the year, see what your income is to make sure that what you told Covered California a year ago is close to it. And if it isn't, get prepared to maybe owe some money or maybe get money back because your income's lower.
What if you're a young person, you say, look, I don't need any of this?
I hear that all the time. So what happens is, if you don't buy health insurance, you're going to pay a penalty, which is 2.5% of your income, or $695, whichever is more. So again, I've had people say to me, okay, so I don't make a lot of money. It's going to cost me, let's say, $700. I'll just do that. It makes sense. You're going to, okay, instead of paying $2,000 for health insurance, you pay $700 for the fine. However, what happens if you get sick or if you're in the hospital? You still have to pay all those bills. So it's really important to get something, and we can find a plan that can meet your needs. If you're making somewhere between $17,000 to $35,000, $40,000, you can definitely get a plan through Covered California that will give you a nice subsidy and keep your costs, you know, reasonable.
Now, can your association and members of your association help a person who's going through the process of just trying to investigate? But Covered California requires that you put all this information, personal information, into the system before you even decide that you want to get involved. How do you do that? Can your people help us? We
can, and what we end up doing is another site you can go to, part of Covered California. We can go in and we can look at all the different plans and say, okay, what do you want to do? And a lot of time we do it just over the phone. You know, you call me up, hey, Craig, here's what I need, and I'll go, okay, Carlos, here's what we can do. Give me some ideas, and we can just talk you through it and say, here's a plan that would work for you. And then we can actually help you go online or actually do an application and help you get it all through the process.
All right, this is such important stuff for people.
It is.
They really do need some assistance to help. I would personally, when I go through all my insurance things, I really don't know the answers. And as much as you study it, you still can't figure out all the nuances. So, Craig, I appreciate you being here to sort this all out. And, of course, if you want to get a hold of Craig, we'll put his information online at kusi.com. Thanks, Craig, for being here with us to sort of clear this up. All right, open enrollment is open as of today. All right, back with more.